So, I have an interesting topic for you today. If you get this, it's really going to change everything for your life. So, basically, I submit to you that there's no such thing as struggling, that there's no such thing as internally struggling. This doesn't exist, it's not real. I want you to think of anything in your life that you're having an external struggle with, whether it be relationships, meeting the perfect man, meeting the perfect woman, financial, whatever it is in your life that you're really, maybe it's to get that promotion that you wanted, and you're just working harder and harder and harder, and you just tell yourself one more day, if you can just keep grinding through. And how many ridiculous YouTube videos out there are telling you all you have to do is work harder, work harder, work harder. Well, I submit to you that none of this is real because there's no such thing as struggling. And hear me what I'm saying here. So we already know that we exist in a quantum field, which is a holographic reality. It's an illusion. And all of our experiences are merely echoes or projections of the feeling that we previously held, or that feeling is in our subconscious mind, or whether we created that consciously through our thoughts and our feelings. So literally, the experience you're having today is just a reflection of the feeling you had yesterday or last week or even last month. It's just an echo that you're playing out. The echo's already been cast. So you're really not struggling. So what you're literally experiencing as struggling is merely you were holding the feeling either last week, yesterday, the month before. You were constantly holding a feeling that you were failing somehow and that you were experiencing frustration from this failure. And that you're holding the feeling that this is all that ever happens to you and that life is so hard, blah, blah, blah. So when you do this, when you hold these feelings, you're actually creating an echo into the quantum field. You're creating a resonant frequency. And that resonant frequency goes into the quantum field and then it gives back to you more of what you were feeling. You experience that as another day of struggling, but actually the script has already been written. You're just experiencing the illusion of struggling because the script, you already wrote the script when you create the feeling. So every time you're trying to go out and get that job, or every time you're trying to increase your income, and unfortunately it's the same thing over and over again, the reason it doesn't work if you try harder is because it's already been done. You're merely responding to an echo. You're responding to a script that you already wrote. Does this make any sense to you, what I'm saying? So what happens with most people is they will hold the feeling in their mind that life is hard, or that they're struggling, or they'll be fearful. This creates a feeling within their body, and that feeling interacts with the quantum field, and then it gives them more of that same thing. So when they experience it again, they create more feeling out of an emotional reaction, emotional response to that. What most people don't understand is the quantum field responds to emotions, it responds to feelings. This is why you're constantly inundated with the news, Hollywood movies, social media. All of it is designed to hijack your creative power within you, your creative potential, to help you, to create you to manifest more of what you don't want. Now, I invite you to try something different. If you're still struggling with your life on some level, financially, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, whatever it is you're doing, and you're still physically trying harder in the external world but getting the same results, I invite you to do something different. They say the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again, expecting the same result, expecting different results. So if trying harder has not helped you for the past month, year, or even years, why are you still doing this? The reason you're doing it is because every moronic video on YouTube keeps telling you to get up at 3 in the morning and hit the grind and outwork everyone, outperform everyone, all right? It's all bullshit. That doesn't work, okay? The reason that people who work hard and they're able to have success is only because they are previously holding the feeling of the success that they wanted. And because of their belief system, they would only allow that success to come to them after working hard or having the illusion of working hard. Now, keep in mind, there's a fine line here. I'm not telling you to spend all day on the television set watching soap operas and eating Cheetos and just degrading yourself. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have to understand the nature of reality. You have to understand what it is you're dealing with and why you're getting your ass kicked. You're getting your ass kicked because you don't understand the rules and you're playing incorrectly. I never, ever, ever do anything, whether it's healing a client, expanding the business, whatever I do, I never do it unless I first hold the feeling, unless I first hold the feeling of what I want. And then what I experience is merely a projection or an echo of that. So by that definition, there's no such thing as success either. There's no such thing as failure. There's no such thing as struggling. All you're really experiencing is an echo of the feeling that you were holding previously. So this is why I tell people to get off social media, get off the news, get off Hollywood movies, even get off your phone if it's negativity, because it's creating a feeling within you, and that feeling is actually affecting your reality, you know. Now, many other times what people don't understand is your beliefs themselves. Your beliefs can create feelings, your subconscious beliefs. You can have a subconscious belief about something that is beneath your awareness. And that belief that's beneath your awareness will actually create a resonant frequency. So say, for instance, you're trying really hard to succeed in life, but you have a belief below your awareness that you don't deserve something, and by definition, you shouldn't have anything. So that belief beneath your subconscious mind, in your subconscious mind, is constantly giving out that resonant frequency. So when you go out and try to do something harder, you're not really going to do anything. You're just going to experience an echo of you don't deserve anything. Does that make any sense what I'm saying? This is why I believe the importance of clearing your mind of subconscious beliefs, because subconscious beliefs on a deeper level, they're interacting with the quantum field. They're interacting with people. We're all connected, we're all one. So every time you have a feeling, that feeling is actually resonating into your reality. So anytime you're struggling for something, I want you to take a moment, take a step back, and understand that you're just experiencing an echo of what you were feeling before. Then I want you to remember a time that you were like, perhaps what you were doing, what were you feeling the week before, the day before, that caused you to experience the echo that you're experiencing now. Does this make any sense what I'm saying? These are some pretty high level concepts, but I believe if you're going to succeed in life, it's really important for you to understand how the rules are played. And no one ever actually explained to you how the rules are played. Everything you experience, even your success, is not really a success. It's just you holding the feeling and visualizing constantly your outcome, and now you're experiencing the echo of that. When people work hard for 10 years or 5 years and they have a breakthrough, it's only because of their resonant frequency, their beliefs within their subconscious mind that say, I have to work really hard for 5 or 10 years before I see success. If people are constantly having failure, it's only because of the beliefs within themselves that are creating the feeling that their reality is one of failure. So another metaphor is to think of it as if you were to write a story. Imagine you're writing a story, a script, and you write the story that someone has a certain outcome. Perhaps he fails at something. Now I want you to write that story, and then I want you to imagine reading that story every day and then expecting somehow the story to change. That maybe if you read it harder, maybe if you read it slower, maybe if you read it with glasses on, do you really think that you reading the story over and over again is going to somehow change the outcome of the story? It's not going to. This is exactly what you're doing when you're constantly trying harder and harder. You're just reading the same story over and over again in different ways. Perhaps you're reading it in a different font. You're reading it in cursive. You're reading it typed. You're reading it with glasses on. You're reading it highlighting. You're reading it on the computer. It doesn't matter because the story is already written. So if you really want to make the change, you actually have to rewrite the story. And then you rewrite the story by simply changing your subconscious beliefs and then consciously holding a feeling. You can consciously or subconsciously hold a feeling of the reality that you want. And then within a day, 24 hours, a week, perhaps a month, that echo will come back. And then what you experience as success, you're just experiencing, you're reading the new story that you wrote. So start looking at life as merely stories that you're writing and that you're experiencing. And most people get caught up in trying to change the story by reading it in a different way. It doesn't work that way. You change the story by rewriting it. So every person you've seen who's like had amazing success, and they'll tell you, I worked hard, or I busted my ass, or I persevered, or there's lots of blah, 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 blah. They only experience success in that form is because of their society beliefs that were in their mind. They grew up with beliefs in their mind saying success only comes after you've been working hard, after a lot of pain, after a lot of sacrifice, after you've proven your worth. These are all limited beliefs. So because of that, the success they experienced, which really wasn't a success, it was just a reality that they only gave themselves permission to experience once they've had a certain amount of prerequisite pain. But that's not necessary. It's not necessary at all. Once you get these limiting beliefs cleared out of your subconscious mind, then you can just allow the reality that you want to have instantly, clearly, quickly. So, if there is any type of struggle, the struggle would be an internal struggle. An internal struggle. That is just the internal struggle is your desire, your ability to let go of limiting beliefs because you think they're safe. So I guess in a sense, the only struggle truly is an internal one, and that is your own ability to let go of the beliefs within you, to free yourself of limiting beliefs that no longer serve you. So you have to ask yourself, where is the struggle really happening? Is it happening in the outside world, or is it happening within you? Is it happening because you don't want to let go of beliefs about worthiness, about deserving, about working hard, about sacrifice? Is it because you don't want to let go of those beliefs? Or are you willing to invite yourself into a new way of looking into the world, where you are worthy, you do deserve to be an infinite creator being? You see, all the powers that be around us, they're aware of these things. They're aware that each and every one of us is actually a creator being. They're aware that we're in a quantum field, but they don't tell us that. They tell you that you're in a solid world and you must keep it real. You must be practical. But that's not true. See, they know we're in a quantum field. They know this. This is why we're constantly bombarded with Hollywood movies, social media, the news. They're trying to manufacture feelings within us so that we create more of the reality that we don't want. That's why you're always hearing all this nonsense about the skies falling, because they know that if they can get you to feel a certain way, if they can get you to constantly feel fearful, if they can get you to believe in scarce resources, you'll create that feeling within you, and then you'll have that reality. And you'll be convinced that that reality is an external world, when in fact it's just a holographic echo of what you created. I have an article below that goes into this on a deeper level if you want to really understand this. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your comments. As you know, I do firmly believe that we're in a holographic reality, and this is the only reason why people are experiencing quantum healings is because they're not real to begin with. However, I want to give a broad spectrum of information for everyone so that people who aren't ready, for instance, for just completely transforming their body using the power of their mind, and they want to do steps, then they can use vitamin D. They can use boron, as I said in my last video. But that's only because of their belief system is giving them permission to only have a certain reality if certain prerequisites are met. But you can just clear all of that out of your mind and you can just experience the reality that you want. This is something I'm very passionate about, and I live by this. There isn't one thing I do, whether it's making YouTube videos or talking to people or expanding the business or reaching more people. I don't do anything first without holding the feeling of the echo that I want to experience a day from now, a week from now, a month from now. So then when I have success, all I'm really doing is experiencing a reality. So I invite you to let go of the idea of success, let go of failure, let go of struggle, and think more in terms of realities that you're experiencing. Like, what reality are you experiencing? For instance, I want to have an apple, okay? So I hold the feeling that I want an apple. I hold the feeling of what it's like, and then a day, maybe within an hour, I'm eating an apple. Now, am I successful now? Am I a success because I'm eating the apple? Or am I merely just having an apple? Okay? Now I want you to imagine another situation where someone wants an apple, but they're holding the feeling that they can't find apples, or holding the feeling that apples are scarce. And then a day later, they just can't find an apple. Now, are they a failure? Did they fail? Or are they merely experiencing a reality without apples? Do you see what I'm saying here? So there is no failure, there is no success, there is no struggling. There is only the reality that you experience based upon what you're feeling. It's these human labels that cause the problems. So what happens is the average person, if they're holding the feeling they want an apple, and then but they can't find an apple, and then the next day there's no apples anywhere and they can't find one, they interpret that as being a failure. And then that interpretation of being a failure creates a feeling within them. And then that feeling gives them more non-apples, right? As opposed to just saying, oh, I'm experiencing a reality with no apples. Or Same thing with money, right? So say you want a certain amount of money, okay? If you hold the feeling, now you got to make sure your subconscious beliefs are clear, because your subconscious beliefs are also resonating frequencies. So if you hold the feeling you want a certain amount of money, and all of a sudden you have that money, are you a success now? Are you a failure? Or are you just merely someone who is experiencing a reality with a certain amount of money? Think about that. And if you want to make a certain amount of money, but you've been holding the feeling that you don't deserve it, and then the next day you don't have the money, are you a failure, or are you merely experiencing a reality without money? See, you need to remove judgment of how you're interpreting the echoes, remove judgment of the experience, because that judgment, for the most part, is creating a lot of that emotional turmoil within you, because you're thinking, what would my mom say? What would my wife say? What would society say? What would that idiot on YouTube say who's like, you don't get up at 3 in the morning and work 20 hours a day and blah, 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 blah. See, you need to remove the bullshit from your mind. And you need to only focus on things in realities. What reality are you experiencing? Detach from that. I hope you find this information useful. I'm very passionate about it. If you want to learn more about it, I do have a coaching course below you can sign up for. I also have something, if you're on a budget, an MP3, various MP3s to help you clear your financial limitations within your subconscious mind. The subconscious beliefs that we pick up on from childhood that create resonant frequencies, that we don't deserve things, that life is hard, that money is bad. It clears that out of your mind, but keep in mind that when you do go through the clearing process, it can be a bit uncomfortable if you're not prepared for it. So just understand that discomfort will pass, and that the discomfort has always been there. It's just that you're now being made aware of it. Anyways, I really enjoy giving this information to you guys. I really enjoy helping you. Give me your thoughts below. Let me know if this is making sense to you. And also check out the article below so you can have more clarity on what's going on. And then I invite you to reflect in the comments below any echoes that you may have been experiencing, not realizing that you weren't struggling. You were just creating a reality that you weren't aware of. All right, guys, I hope you have a great weekend.